What's up, everybody? This is John with Two Mixers. This is our very first unboxing video, and I think our first video on YouTube. I'm super excited to bring you Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion. There's a reason why we paid to have this come with our luggage all the way over to Amsterdam. It's because we played the original Gloomhaven that this is based on. It's kind of a prequel to it, if you will, but we played the original with all of our friends, all of our buddies, and we just absolutely loved it. There's a reason why it's the #1 highest rated board game of all time on BoardGameGeek.com, which is, in my book, just a very fair website that is going to bring you the truth, and I believe them, and that's the reason why I invested in the original Gloomhaven, and that's the reason why we have Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion now. It's from Cephalofair Games. It's got like its own play style, its own mechanics, if you will, that I've never seen in any other board game. It's kind of like an action RPG that you'll see with not too different from Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder. There's it's a lot of dungeon crawling. That's what you're gonna get here. Dungeon crawling with action. It's a really fun game. So let's go ahead and crack this open. I'm gonna be seeing everything for the first time with you. So if you've played Gloomhaven before, we're gonna see some new things together. If you haven't played Gloomhaven, you're going to hear me talk about some stuff that you might not recognize, but if you don't recognize it and you'd like to know more, just go ahead and drop a comment down below and we'll be able to talk about it, and I'll be happy to have any type of gaming conversation you could ever have. Alright, so first we have the box. If you're familiar with the old Gloomhaven, the old one weighs somewhere between like 25 and 35 pounds, I want to say, upwards of 35 pounds. It's the like heaviest board game I've ever witnessed, been a part of, carried, held, and definitely bought. This one is a lot lighter. I would say this one is definitely like 10 to 15 pounds. So I know that I'm not getting as much as with the original Gloomhaven, but it costs a third of what the other one did. So from what I've heard about this one is that it is like an introductory to Gloomhaven. The original can be it can be off-putting for the casual gamer. I can definitely see that. Trying to explain it to friends that don't play board games as much, definitely, you know, we had a little bit of a rough time getting it done. So this one is supposed to be able to talk your casual gaming friends who are a little bit interested in board games into playing with you, and that's only great for the culture, right? That's good for all of us gamers, that the more people that we have involved with it, as long as we're not gatekeeping, we're able to keep more people involved, more heads on it, more people that are excited about it. They'll want to produce more games, everything like that. So let's get to it. Fully cooperative fantasy campaign adventure. You're all playing together. You're not. There's no real competition other than getting to loot as fast as you can. The box explains here that it it's going to have 4 characters, 4 starting characters. They're going to be the demolitionist. I guess he's going to be a type of like artificer. We have we have the hatchet. We could assume he's going to be melee. Red guard. He has a scythe and a shield, so probably something like a paladin. He's going to be a sword and board carrier, melee guy, and void warden. Definitely like a sorcerer, wizard, something like that. So it says you can play as standalone or an expansion to Gloomhaven. That's huge. I mean, if you already have the original, you're probably going to be interested in playing this with it, or, you know, just playing this one out, trying it out, see how you feel about it, and then investing in the full game, which is now you can find it around $100, €100. So that's not too absurd considering it used to cost like $150. It's going to be 1 to 4 players. It says 30 minutes per player. So it's going to be broken down into scenarios. Scenarios, if you're familiar with D&D, it's just like your one adventure in a campaign. It's your session. So it says 30 minutes per player. So for 3 of us, it'd take about an hour and a half. That's probably going to be after you've got all the rules down and everything, because picking this right up out of the box, you're going to have some questions. You're going to have to go to the rules to confirm everything. So, removing the top, what do we have first? Right in front of us. Welcome to Gloomhaven. Stop. Read this before you do anything else. There are more components in this game box than you may be used to, and it is more important to make sure that you are organized before you start to play the game. The sheet will give you step-by-step instructions on how to easily organize your game box and where to go from there so you can start playing as fast as possible. I like that. That's really nice. It lays out all the big pieces that you're going to find in here. It shows you how to organize your pieces. So apparently it's going to come with some plastic bags, some Ziplocs to put our minis in. That's really great. If you are familiar with the original, again, you probably have heard of a box organizer, if you will. They cost like another $100 on top of your game, but they're almost a necessity with the original Gloomhaven because it's going to organize all the tiny pieces that you have. I remember Victoria and I, on our first unboxing of the original Gloomhaven, just poking out the character pieces and the plastic and getting the map pieces together. Oh man, it was like 2 or 3 hours. It was really crazy. So yeah, it lays out everything that we're gonna have to put together. That's really fun. I'm excited for that. This is very important. Do not open these small boxes marked A, B, C, and D. So that's already something, we know without spoilers, that's something that's gonna coincide with the original. There's things that you can unlock. Like I said, it's a full campaign, so this is going to take 6 months to a year maybe to play, to overcome the campaign. So there's just a lot involved. Learn to play guide. So we have the original rule set that we're going to have to become familiar with to learn how to play this game. I'm going to get to go through that. This is about 30 pages. It's about 30 pages. That's not too bad. That's no different than some of the Betrayal games that we've played, similar to Battlestar Galactica. The original Gloomhaven is not even that many more pages for the Learn to Play guide. So not too daunting. Still might be a lot for the casual gamer. We have the glossary. Going to be really important to go back, look up things quickly. Whenever you reveal a new room, whenever you're wondering if you loot now, loot later, you get to go right to it in a alphabetical format. That's always great. There's likely going to be a reference page in the back. We have appendices. That's really great. Indexes. So good, that's going to be really important, to have the two together whenever you're playing and you're not super familiar with the rules. Keeping the glossary close by is important. Supplemental scenario book. Okay, so this is going to be, I don't want to ruin too much for me. This is going to let's come back to that, to the supplemental, because I'm seeing here the scenario book. So like I mentioned, Gloomhaven is broken down to scenarios. It's just like your session, your adventure. There is your mission at hand. What are you going to accomplish tonight? And so it's going to be A to B for each session that you play. That's your scenario. Now, something that I've heard is that this box doesn't come with map pieces like the original. The original has like the map pieces that you click in together and you make your map for the scenario. They're integrated in different ways. They click in like puzzle pieces. And from what I understand, this one, so your map is going to be laid out page by page. So I don't know. That kind of sounds something like a comic book. Like you're gonna play this part of the scenario, complete this part of the map, and move forward. I don't know. That's really interesting, but it definitely takes away a lot of the disorganization that can occur with the original. That's gonna be something different. But I'm seeing here by opening up a random scenario, things that I'm familiar with. We have the map, the hexagonal map. We have objects that you can't cross. We have where your baddies are going to be whenever you start your scenario, introduction, conclusion, and rewards for each scenario. There's going to be like a easy, medium, and a hard setting that you can play each one, and you'll get obviously bigger rewards for the bigger risk. Gloomhaven can be tough. Our win rate just can't be any more than 50%. And I mean, we play a lot of board games. So the scenario book is out of the way. Supplemental scenario book, maybe it's just some extras, some bonuses. I don't know, we'll get around to that. So location stickers, another thing that would be familiar with the original. So the original comes with a giant map of like the continent that Gloomhaven rests in. Gloomhaven is a city in this continent. Can't exactly remember the name of the continent now, but whenever you complete a scenario that's at a certain location, you usually put a location sticker on there. So we might or might not have a map in this box. We'll see. A bunch of stuff to punch out. Let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 pages of punch out for cardboard. Seeing some things I'm familiar with. We got coins here, damage tokens. We have obstacles. We have status icons. So these are things that I'm familiar with. Treasure boxes, bushes. You'll see here, these bushes are nice to use in other things. If you play Dungeons & Dragons and you want to lay your map out, you're not all theater of the mind, these are really fun to use. We brought the pieces, the components of our original Gloomhaven all the way over to Amsterdam just to play in our D&D campaign. I'm seeing some baddies here. We got some I'm not familiar with any of these. Giant snake. Oh man, some crazy looking pieces. Okay, we have a status board. Very familiar with that. Whenever a certain status appears, if somebody gets burnt, if somebody gets if there's a strong blizzard that came over the battlefield, and it's going to be strong, and then whenever another round goes by, it moves to waning. Another goes by, it moves to inert, and then it goes away. So that's how you may be familiar with that. More baddies. These are bigger, badder. So I'm assuming these are some of the bosses that we'll be fighting. Lastly, we have more punches. These are obstacles that can be damaged. So say there's like a barricade in your way getting through a door. You take down the barricade with the right amount of damage, and it just becomes rubble that you can move through. I'm also seeing some extra tabs that I recognize as the Hatchet, Red Guard, Void Warden, Demolitionist. So these are going to have something to do with our characters. I believe this is new. This isn't in the original Gloomhaven. All right. Also, in the box was a much smaller map than the original Gloomhaven. This is the map that we're going to go off of to play. Like I said, we're going to say it tells us we need to go to a hidden location at 3A on the outskirts of town. I'm going to find the column 3, row A, and it is going to, there's going to be a scenario that somebody's trying to get into the gate or sneak in, and I got to stop them. So that's where we'll see that, and whenever you defeat it, you'll put a sticker where it says, and then that lets you know that it's been completed. So far, I'm looking in the box. Everything looks like I should be able to organize this back into the box. We'll see, because that'll be interesting to me. If we have to get a broken token insert, that's something that you're gonna have to consider whenever you're thinking about buying this financially. Big deal. Plastic tray. So I hear this is like an organizer for you to lay out on the table, get everything in order for you to play, because you're going to have you're going to have cards that you draw per attack to see if you hit critically, to see if you had a critical fail, to see if you're going to add some damage or subtract some damage. So I think that is to organize it a little better, because table management and component management could be a headache in the original. We have 4 of our health and status die. Yeah, so health, status, things like that. 4 of them for 4 players. Pretty simple. Oh man, and now the fun, teeny tiny stuff. We have our enemy cards. they're going to just represent what the enemy is for the scenario. You usually take out what you don't need, put it off to the side for the scenario, and only deal with the enemies that you're going to have. So you're only going to need, like, you know, max 5 of these per scenario. We have our enemies. Yeah, so these are the protagonist and the antagonist. Like, they're damage tokens, basically. They're like I said, you pull them per attack. You see if you're going to use them to attack, how well you attack. If you swiped at them and maybe you were distracted and you were looking off to the side and you didn't hit them as well as you thought, so it's going to take away some of the damage that you attack. It's random luck of the draw, no different than dice, really. I'm sure it's a little different statistic wise, but whatever. These are item cards. So you're going to maybe start with an item depending on if your character does or not, and then you get loot, kill enemies, get loot, raid the treasure, and buy items. Okay, so these are I forget what they're called. They're like scenario cards where you might have like they're agenda cards. There you go. So you might have like a hidden agenda going into the scenario. Each character draws one and has a secret hidden agenda that will get them some extra loot or experience points at the end. It just makes it a little more fun, a little competitive, if you will. You just don't want to. You're not going to give yourself up, but you're going to do what it takes to help yourself out if it helps. Also, some of these could be like damaging for your future. Say you are going out to take care of a scenario, but you are attacked by a carriage with a thief on there. These can help or hurt your chances. And these are the random acts that I just described. So on your way to a scenario, you have to get there. You have to be in your carriage, eating, resting, getting your mind right for the adventure. Well, there goes a small child that's lost on the side of the road. Do you decide to take care of this child? Do you watch out for him? Watch out, because it could be a thief. They could be a wizard, hidden by disguise. So this is kind of just like random scenarios, smaller, things that just throw a wrench in the gears, if you will. Standees for your baddies. Ziplocs. This is really great that it comes with it. We had to go buy our own for the original, and this is really nice to have. Monster attack modifiers, curse and bless. So this is basically it's for more table management. You're gonna lay them out and help you know where to put all the cards whenever it's time to use them. Encountered events and new events. Events are the cards that I described that are just like little small decisions that you have to make on the fly to help or hurt your chances. These are health cards. So these are the bad guys' stats, if you will. You put them in this. So this only shows one side of the card. Say you're playing the hard difficulty. So you would move to the hard difficulty that's described, and it's the one that you have available. So you can only see the one that you're going to be taking on. That's going to be your enemy. That's really fun. You don't want to look at it before you play. You don't want to look at, is this enemy easier? Should I play the scenario easy just so I beat it? No, that's wizzy stuff. We're not going to play like that. The last that I'm seeing are 4 starting characters. Let's open one of them, will ya? Let's do Hatchet. I can recognize it by the hatchet symbol on the box. Makes it real easy to tell which one this is. I'm excited to see this one. I don't mind a melee character, especially in board games. This particular type always gives me trouble. I never want to tear it, you know what I mean? But it always happens anyway. So one of the great things about Gloomhaven, especially the original, is it comes with a ton of minis. They're minis that you can use in the future with your other TTRPGs, any type of fantasy play that you have. They've got great detail, nice solid resin, I mean, this is nice. I'm excited to play. I might have to play with this character just because I like him so much. This is a good one. There's 4 of these. There's also the 4 that they tell you not to open. So that possibly means that for some reason, you know, on down the road through the campaign, it's like you may now open A. So you'll be able to open that box. It may be, who knows, a new character. It could be a new boss that you're going to have to take down. Not going to ruin the fun for you. And lastly, it looks like we have, these are going to be the like character packs that come with your character that you're going to choose. So for Hatchet, it's like this large envelope. It's going to have quite a few things in there. I assume it's going to have your like main character sheet. It's going to tell you your hand size, everything like that. Let's open it up. All right, so it has your character sheet that you write on. This one's huge. You're going to put your name, so you get to name your character. Even though it says Hatchet, that's just the picture that's on the box. You get to name them, you know, Slobby Enox, whatever you want. It has, you know, you keep up the level and your experience points on here, as well as how much gold you have. Eventually, you're going to unlock perks for your character. That really just changes your modifier deck. It takes out your -1 or your -2 or your nullified cards in your modifying deck. That's really what it does the most for. And it also, maybe your character can gain status effects, things of that nature. You definitely want to aim towards perks. That's like your what you have the most fun doing. I'm opening up some card packs, and I'm seeing. This is going to be the original card pack. This is what you're going to open first whenever you start your character. I'm playing my first session here. I have Hatchet. I've laid out my character. And I get a reference card here. And I'm going to have different cards that I can use. They're going to be my attacks, my abilities, my skills. I'm looking forward to opening those one day. I'm seeing here, Halt. Halt. Do not open this pack of cards until you're directed to do so. These cards are added to your attack modifier deck as your character becomes more powerful, so you won't need them at the start of the campaign. So I'm not even going to open that. Gloomhaven's real good about that. They tell you when you shouldn't open things, when you should. Another one that says, Halt, do not open until your character reaches level 5. At that time, flip this card over and read the back for further instructions. It's a mystery. That's exciting. I'm excited to get to that. This is going to be my modifier deck that I start with. This is Hatchet's modifier deck. Whenever you play your first scenario, you're going to take this out, shuffle it, set it in front of you, and each time you attack, you're going to pull one of these. What else we got in here? Okay, my character sheet and a little bit of backstory. My character sheet basically tells me what my hand size is, I believe. Yeah, it's gonna be your hand size and your health. I believe you like start out with a certain number. I think it's the lowest number that's on here. 8 is like your starting health, so you're gonna move your health counter to 8. It has a cool little picture of you. It also shows where you're gonna keep your cards for table management. It's all about table management. It's gonna take a big table to play this. Hopefully you have a good gaming surface, especially if you're gonna be playing with 4 characters. You're gonna need a big table. On the back comes a little bit of backstory. It doesn't have to define who you are, but it defines how you got here. And lastly, some item. They're like little pictures of hatchets. Don't know how we use them just yet. We're gonna have to see. We're gonna find out. But that is everything in the box. Now let's play the game of trying to get everything back in there. All right. So starting with this, we'll get it back in the box. You're probably gonna want to use this whenever you get to playing, but it's gonna get real annoying to have to do this over and over. Not gonna lie. We've played this game quite a bit, like I said, so we eventually just stopped putting them back in the envelope. If I could fit that in, that'd be real nice. There we go. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we have the characters back in there. I know that these enemy stat cards were in here. Let's put the cards back in because I know where they go as well. Oh man, this big one. See, it's already tough. Let's put these small cards in here. Let's get that in here. These damage counters. Okay, they got a nice little pocket for them. Wow, I think this is all gonna fit in here. Yeah, that's nice. Like I said, this is for casual gamers. It's supposed to be for people that are just picking it up or just trying to get their friends to play for the first time, which isn't easy to do. It's definitely not. Let's take this book out, get all of these cardboard inserts in. Put the books back in. Yeah, I think it's gonna fit. It wasn't closed perfectly, even when it was in the saran wrap. So I think that they just like said, "F it, let's just throw it in there. It'll close. The door closes, right? If the lid fits, you must have quits." Wow. There we go. It all goes back in the box. Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion. I am so excited to play. We're going to have to record our first session, I think. Yeah. Yes. We're going to record our first session. We'll post it after this. This is our first video. We have a lot to work on, but we're definitely excited to make more. If you saw anything that you have a question about, if you want to talk shop just for the hell of it, go ahead, drop a comment below, like us and subscribe, and you will get a notification the next time that we make a new video. Thank you very much. This is John with 2 Mixers. Peace.